everybody. Happy Pride. Yay. I want to talk to you about something that a lot of people think about on Palm Sunday, and that is religion, or rather people who identify as religious or spiritual, any brand, any culture. This is such an untapped market for vegan values. So we know that there are 6.9 human beings on Earth who identify as religious or spiritual. That's a lot of people. And that's why this film that I have produced, I'm not the filmmaker, that's Thomas Jackson, who's a Student Academy Award winner. But if you just see back there, the man on the back row, he's got postcards. We are going to be doing a screening of the film Thursday evening. It's sold out, but if you know somebody, maybe they could get you a ticket. The reason this film exists is to reach out to these 6.9 billion people, and that is billion with a B like broccoli. So why are they so important other than the fact that there are so many people in that category? There are three reasons that we have learned in making the film. That is, number one, there is no religion, there is no denomination that outlaws veganism or vegetarianism for any of its members. And number two, there are lots of indications in all the religions of the world that these compassionate ideas are actually a good idea. They've been hidden by culture, they've been hidden by tradition, and yet they are in there. In Judaism and Christianity, for example, Eden was vegan. Did you all know that? Yeah. Nobody ate anybody in the Garden of Paradise. And things kind of changed. But the other day I was on YouTube and I just didn't turn it off, and this video came up with an evangelist. And I'm not of that ilk, but she was saying, one thing I have learned is God never changes his mind. And I'm thinking, then Genesis 1:29 still holds. We're supposed to be vegan. And then the other reason, Yahoo, that this is such an important group to reach is that religious people, love them or not, deal with issues. You could walk into any religious institution anywhere in New York City and you could say, what's your position on LGBTQ rights? What's your position on female clergy? What's your position on immigration, on war and peace, on abortion? Now they're going to tell you because they have a position. You may agree with it, you may celebrate it, you may disagree vehemently, but they have wrestled with these issues and come to some kind of conclusions. But if you were to say to these same people, what's your position on animals? They would probably say, huh? Or maybe they would say, every year we have a blessing of the animals. And one of our next speaker is the wonderful filmmaker of Speciesism, the movie. Who's seen Speciesism, the movie? Mark DeVries movie? Do you remember the scene of the blessing of the animals, which of course is lots of dogs, a few cats, and then somebody pulls out this big poster of chickens in a battery egg operation, suffering terribly. The look on the face of the clergywoman, that look of incredulity, is really worth seeing this movie, as well as lots of other reasons. So what we want to do is be able to ask that question, what's your stand on animals? And have them have an answer. We want to be able to say, what's your stand on food? And have more than we want to feed the hungry. Of course we want to feed the hungry, but we also want to look at what is the kind of food that is going to change this planet in the way that all people of goodwill really, when they think about it, want it to be changed. So what do? Well, I would invite you to check out A Prayer for Compassion. You can actually host a screening, see me, see my husband back there with the postcards. We're having screenings all over this planet before we go digital in the fall. Bring clergy, bring people who don't know these things, and then find out what there is in your religious tradition or the one that you left that says, you know what, veganism may be cool. So just look, for example, since most of us probably come from Western traditions, but I'll just take a guess at that, Daniel Daniel in the Bible kind of reminds me of our wonderful vegan athletes. You know how we think about the bodybuilders like Robert Cheek and Tori Washington, or the wonderful runners like Rich Roll, and we say, woohoo, that's a body I want, maybe in this life, maybe in the next one. But Daniel was like that. He was captured, and the king wanted him to eat all kinds of meat and rich food. He said no, and he got stronger and fitter than any of those other people. And then we've got the story of the loaves and the fishes. Who grew up learning that one in Sunday school? A shout out to Rin Berry. Do a woohoo if you knew Rin Berry. The spirit of Rin Berry is in this park. He was here for every parade. He was also in this park every weekend for 2 decades, passing out his vegetarian guides to New York City. Rin is in the next adventure now, but he told this great story. Rin would say, when I translated the New Testament from the Greek, anybody here do that? Okay, Rin said, when I translated the New Testament from the Greek, I saw that everywhere in the New Testament, when the word fish is used, it's the word for fish. But in that story of the so-called loaves and fishes, that word translates first as a relish, something like hummus that you would spread on loaves. Second definition, dessert. Third definition, little fishes. He said some translator must have thought that it was more miraculous to multiply fishes than the other stuff. Well, to me today, that is the miracle of the loaves and the baba ganoush. So learn these things, talk to these people, and check out people that are working on this. In Defense of Animals has a group called Vegan Spirituality with a monthly online meeting. There's another group called the Vegan Interfaith Coalition. We want to get in there, we want to talk to these people, and we want to be able to say that if you can talk about war, and you can talk about immigration, and you can talk about abortion, I can say, let's have vegan cookies after church this Sunday without there being a mutiny. Thank you, and God bless you.